Joining me now to discuss is NewsNation political contributor and Republican strategist, Denise Gitsham. Thanks so much for being here today. As always, you know, we've got this ongoing escalation and then de-escalation when it comes to these tariffs. So how do you see it? How certain are you that this will push through next month? What do you think?
Well, so far, nothing catastrophic has happened either to our economy or even in our international relations. Really, nothing massive has been affected the way so many people have said they might be or predicted that would be. And let's be clear, like nobody really knew how this would all pan out when he first imposed reciprocal tariffs or declared the Liberation Day on April 1st. So we're all watching this unfold in real time. I think whoever has the most to lose, and Trump's betting that it's everyone else and not America, is going to be the one that folds. And so far we're seeing that happen. I don't know if you want to say folds. I tend to think of it in terms of diplomacy, but however you look at it, the person who has the most to lose is going to be the one that ends up giving the most.
Yeah, I mean, some people will call it a little bit of whiplash, but, you know, we've got a lot more to go on this. Yeah, right? So, okay, so you're in California right now. I've got to ask you while I have you about the federal judge that's blocking the Trump administration from making these indiscriminate arrests in the state based on factors like race, accident, and line of work. This is something that we've been following. This has just been a huge story, what happened yesterday and the day before. It comes after the wave of large-scale immigration raids in the state. So as we take a look at it today, taking a breath, what does this legal setback signify to you?
You know, I don't think it will have much impact on what the president and this administration does. I mean, we've already seen the Supreme Court say that there are certain things that are unequivocally within the executive branch's jurisdiction, and certainly our federal immigration laws and enforcement of those are as is the DEA laws, right? I mean, people forget because, you know, you're from California. We're Northern California girls. Yep. We kind of forget sometimes when we live in this blue bubble that there are actual federal laws that may not align with everything that we may want in our state or maybe even not want. Some of us do, some of us don't. But the reality is that marijuana is still a Schedule I classified drug according to the DEA. So just because we're used to everyone smoking pot, you know, around us in California, which we've seen our whole lives, doesn't mean, and just because it's legal here, doesn't mean that that has changed the federal law. So, you know, whether it's the ICE issue or it's the DEA issue or even, you know, federal child labor violations, this is what labor law violations, which is what we discovered in the Glass House bust. I mean, there are 3 levels of federal illegality that we're dealing with in this regards, and any effort by an activist judge, which is how I tend to see this, because when you are a judge, you swear to uphold the Constitution and all of our federal laws. So to actually try to step or impose any other sort of limitation on the executive branch's ability to execute on laws of our land is actually abdicating your job and really violating what you've sworn in office to uphold. I just don't understand it. It's so confusing to me. I don't know where the legal justification comes for it, especially when assaulting ICE officers. I mean, we've all seen the videos. You just played them. How is this in any way peaceful protest?
Right.
It's not.
And we want to mention these were cannabis fields where this happened. And, you know, you mentioned that I'm from California, and I keep thinking about Northern California specifically, where there is so much farmland. And, you know, we'll wait to see what happens up north as we move along with all of this. You know, and as you look at it, too, should Republicans keep doubling down on the issue or find a way to work alongside these migrant communities at this point? Because nobody wants to see what took place here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what you can do when Democrats are basically inciting violence against ICE, you know, ICE agents. I was in Napa the other night on my honeymoon, and I went to a restaurant, and there was a sign in the window that said, if there are ICE agent sightings, call this number. You know, there is an actual federal law against that sort of interference with the execution of, you know, federal law, and it's called obstruction of justice. And then there are actual laws against assaulting an officer, which is what you're seeing there when people pulled out handguns and started shooting. But when you have an atmosphere where you're inciting violence through your language, and listen, we talked about this a lot in January 6th. Let's just talk about how it applies to both sides of the aisle. Then you're actually dealing with a real criminal illegality-ish situation that is going to come back and bite Democrats eventually. Maybe not in our state, our home state, California, but certainly Americans are watching. And we're wondering, like, you know, if you don't uphold the law, and President Obama said this when he was declared the deporter in chief, he said, I don't get to decide which laws I uphold. There's no patchwork of federal laws that can be enforced. We have to decide that we are a nation of laws or we're nothing. And so these are the laws of the land. If you don't like them, change them, but you cannot go around assaulting federal law enforcement agents or getting in the way of obstruction of justice, getting in the way of an arrest.
Sure, and we saw how quickly things escalate, and that's what continues to happen, and it's such a flashpoint. Let's take a look at what, California Governor Gavin Newsom had to say, praising the federal judge's order, writing, quote, justice prevailed today of these raids. Instead of targeting the most dangerous people, federal officials have been arbitrarily detaining Americans and hardworking people, ripping families apart, and disappearing people into cruel detention to meet outrageous arrest quotas without regard to due process. And that should stop now. So as we take a look at his words, how are Republicans looking at that to work with Democrats to get a concrete solution? Because when you start talking about quotas in that way and you start thinking about, is that what is happening here? How do you see it?
I don't love all the rhetoric on my side of the aisle, to be fair. I don't love treating people that I know are hardworking people that came here, even illegally, in a way that's anything less than compassionate. I'm still a George W. Bush compassionate conservative. And but I am also the daughter of legal immigrants who came here and respected our laws and worked hard to become American citizens and value that and do not take advantage of that. So there's an issue of fairness that I think that we all need to address, which is just allowing people to come over willy-nilly is not right. It's not right to the people who did it correctly. It's not right to Americans who are now footing the bill for all of it. But we have to figure out a way to move forward. And Governor Newsom is obviously running for president. So I discount everything he says because he's just doing a political campaign at this point. But I feel like there is some way that we need to start talking about the people who've been here and have contributed to our economy in such a meaningful way, especially in California. I'm in agricultural land, Napa. And so we love those who've come here and have worked with us and helped subsidize everything that we eat and everything that we see around us. But there also has to be an awareness that there is a legality issue and you cannot simply cut to the front of the line because you feel like you're needed. I think this is an issue that needs to be addressed not only with the illegal immigrants, but also the employers. Like, I think the employers should go to jail for facilitating illegal immigration. So all sides of the aisle must be addressed, but it has to be comprehensive, and Congress needs to do this.
Listen, it's going to be a long, hot summer. We've got more of this to go, and we'll have you back. NewsNation political contributor Denise Gitsham, and congratulations on your marriage. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Meanwhile, in Texas, search and recovery efforts are underway at this hour.